What's going on, everybody? Brian Moretti here, and today I'm going to show you how to take better pictures with your smartphone. Let's get started. It's actually easier than you think to take better pictures with your phone. I have just 3 tips for you on how to take those boring snapshots and turn them into something great. Tip number 1, lighting. Whenever possible, shoot in natural light. Natural light is the best kind of light to photograph in. If you're indoors, shoot near a window. And when you're outdoors, there's just 2 things to remember. Just make sure you're not taking a picture directly into the sun, or when you're taking pictures of people, make sure they're not staring directly at the sun. I know everyone's been in a picture like this where everybody's squinting and it just looks awful. You always want to be facing to the left or right of the sun to get the best kind of light outdoors. Now, for those situations where natural light isn't available or ideal, here's what you can do. If your subject is too bright or too dark, tap on where you want to expose and drag down to darken the image or up to lighten the image and get the exposure exactly where you want it. Tip number 2, perspective. Now, what I mean by this is not always taking pictures from a standing height. Easiest way to achieve this is to crouch down a little bit, get lower to the ground, and shoot up. More often than not, and I know I'm guilty of this too, you just whip your phone out of your pocket and take a picture just for the sake of taking the picture. Just take a few extra seconds and think, how can I make this scene more interesting and not just the same old snapshot that everybody else is taking? Best example of this is when you're taking pictures of kids and pets. When you just snap a picture from standing height, you always get the top of their head, which just looks kind of dumb. So what you do, crouch down, get down to their level. I guarantee you that will help you take better pictures. You'd be surprised at how much of a difference that really does make. Tip number 3, composition. Basically how you frame your pictures. Some of you may have heard of the rule of thirds, which basically, as the name implies, is splitting the frame up into 3 sections, both horizontally and vertically, to help frame your shot, make it look much more visually interesting. This is actually built into pretty much every smartphone out there now. I'm going to show you this on an iPhone. Go into your settings, scroll down to Photos and Camera, and then scroll down to where you see Grid, and turn that on. Now when you go into the camera app, you'll see that your image now has a grid on it, and you can use that grid to frame your subject. Now when you use this grid to frame all of your shots from now on, you're going to find that your pictures just look that much better. I've seen way too many pictures where people are in the bottom half of the frame and you see all this empty space above their head. Show of hands how many people have actually done that before. Now along those same lines of having too much empty space, either physically walk toward whatever you're taking a picture of or zoom in. Let me show you an example. Using the rule of thirds, we can line up our shot here. You can see that I have everything lined up exactly where I want it. It's totally fine if we don't get all of our subject in the frame. You can see from this picture, I cut off the top of his hat, but that doesn't matter in this case. The picture still looks great. And that's all there is to it. Hope these few quick tips help you out. And if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe if you want to see more stuff like this in the future. That's it. Thanks for watching. See you next time.